quarter. It's 2 points the difference.
Centre bounce again. It'll be Justin Madden against Teasdale. Teasdale got the tap down. Bahajar comes in. He's grabbed by Evans. He rising to the ground. He said too high there. Umpire. Quick hand pass over to Stoneham, and they go back into attack the Bombers. Barry Round in front goes for the mark, and he's grabbed it in front of Crow. A hand pass coming over there now, and Carroll sends the ball back around the wing position. In front is Cruz. Couldn't hold the mark. Once again, it's Stoneham taking the ball away. Back there towards Hawker, and a good mark. Too late on the scene that time was Anthony Danaher. The kick by Hawker's up there looking for Madden. He's got the chance to make it. And he goes for goal number 4. He'd be about, let's see, about 30 metres out from goal. And you can see the goals there in the background. It's an amazing thing, you know. They've got Andrews running loose down there on that back line. They've got an extra man playing around the centre where that's Barry Round. I can't work it out. South Melbourne. And they've been doing all the attacking in that second half of the second quarter. And, of course, they've gone defensive now. That's not bad. Another goal. So they hit the front now, the Bombers. So at the 6.5-minute mark of the third quarter, it's 6 goals, 440 South Melbourne to Western, 6 goals, 844.
Simon Madden bringing up his 4th goal. I don't think he's registered a behind yet from straight kicks for goal.
And having a bit of a box on there with Carter at the moment. Look at the two of them. Oh, he's hitting him right in the jaw.
Yes, straight left. Oh, out comes the book. Thanks very much, and so it should.
I think he's got him. I think Carter will be the guy to go.
Yeah, 2 of them. Well umpired, guys.
I don't know who was in the wrong there, because I think Simon Madden might have been a bit stiff.
Well, I think they both threw a couple, but Carter's was the better of the 2. In fact, if Dick Lean was watching from stadiums, he'd be out to sign him up at the end of the match. That was as good as Kahu Mahunga in his heyday.
Jolted his head back a bit too, didn't it?
So we're at the 7-minute mark now of an action-packed third quarter at the Lake Oval. A couple of players will be fronting the tribunal during the week. As we await the ruck jaws, it brings the crowd to life. Teasdale got the tap out, and Fowler got one for his corner. Reid for Essendon. The Bombers go into attack again. Foul, best man on the ground. Goal coming up for Essendon if he's accurate. He's not. It's out of bounds on the full. South Melbourne breathe again. And Rod Carter, who had his number taken by 2 umpires, will take the kick. Crow, well, could have infringed against Carroll. It was in the back from here, but the umpire says mark to Max Crow. I need some marking power up forward with Crow and Simon Madden. And they're still having a little bit of a to-do down there. That pair, that's a beautiful kick from Crow. Madden in front, knocked away by Round and Carter, through for another point to Essendon. And on the 7 big league scoreboard, it's South Melbourne 6-4-40, Essendon 6-9-45. 5 points the difference as the ball comes back into play. Good kick by Carter over the top Teasdale. Andrews is right there with him. Evans and Watson down to Taylor. Free kick to Taylor for in the back, and Taylor is off straight away. Tries to get round Foles. That's a beautiful balk and getting South Melbourne out of the danger zone. Taylor tries a short pass in towards centre field. The mark taken by Cruz.
And Cruz goes for a pass. And a good one out there to Evans. He's been a great player too. A long shot for goal. It could be there. Beautiful. No, it's a point.
Downfield, the kick in the goal.
Yes, it'll be a free kick down there to Roberts, right on the edge of the goal. And, of course, he's got a good chance to score here for South Melbourne. His 2nd goal. Umpire bringing him around, I should imagine. He's got to go around. It'll be a difficult shot, but he can just run around a little bit. He'd put it through with that, and he won't. See the goals there on screen. Evans has in the hands of the trainer. He's been a very good player for South Melbourne today. Their best player, I would say. He's had 14 kicks, and wait now for Roberts to put his 2nd goal on the board. And, of course, if he's successful, they'll hit the front, South Melbourne. That's a goal. So there it is on the board. The Bombers trailing by 1 point. 7 goals, 446 South Melbourne to Western 6-9-45.
We're now at the 10-minute mark of the third quarter. It's 1 point the difference.
Waiting on the centre bounce, it'll be Teasdale against Justin Madden. Teasdale got that one down, but no advantage. Picked up by Fowler. Pretty quiet player today. Back there towards Jackson. Coming at the back is Terry Danaher. Anthony Danaher couldn't hold the mark. A chance now for Fashini to get a kick over the half-forward line. It's a long kick. In comes Andrews. Goes for a big thump there. The ball going for the boundary line. And it's over the line and out of bounds. We see Clark go over the line with the ball. It's out of bounds about 45 metres around from the South Melbourne goal. And they're well in this game. They're in front by a point at the moment. They're putting plenty of pressure on Essendon. Essendon winning their last 4 games and becoming the glamour side. Justin Madden, not a good knockout. Fowler going after it again, and the ball is out of bounds. This time it'll be about 50 metres around from the South Melbourne goal. Capacity house here today, one of the biggest crowds I've seen at South Melbourne for many, many years. Back it goes again. Madden and Teasdale. Actually, Madden got that, knocked on by Watson. Comes back into the wing position. Terry Danaher couldn't pick up. There's Fowles again. He's grabbed, didn't have the ball, but the umpire called play on as the ball was kicked up there by Carroll. And he nearly lost that Andrews, but takes a fine mark at centre-half back.
And gives it over to Stoneham. Stoneham playing on straight away, but going towards the outer side, looking for Reid. Rhys Jones is there with him. No mark away, though. Good umpiring. It comes out and turns towards South Melbourne's Moyer. Moyer with a short pass. He's done a mark. I think it is. It'll be a marker, a free kick against Stoneham. Could be a 15-metre penalty.
Well, that's silly play, Pete, because the guy's got the mark, and what can you do about it? All you're doing is penalising your side.
So Moyer, who's already kicked Roberts, who's kicked, he's kicked 2 goals, Roberts. Comes in from 30 metres out, fires, goal umpire moves across marginally, and it's 1 point. So a bad miss by John Roberts. South Melbourne 7-5, 47, Essendon 6-9, 45. Ball back into play towards the outer side of the ground. Reid setting himself, Rhys Jones from behind. Fowler, long hand pass, Nagel on the run, has the bounce in front of Fashini, who pushes him in the back, and he'll get a free kick. Merv Nagel, and again it's on involving Nagel and Rhys Jones. Reid is in there likewise, and this has been the pattern of play right throughout the afternoon.
I reckon Nagel was a victim of circumstances there. He was the innocent party that time, Peter, no doubt about that. I think they're trying to antagonise him. I think that's what happened to him before, and he fell for the trap.
The old 3-card trick. They used to play that to good effect at Collingwood in your day, didn't they, Lou?
Can't remember. Well, you pick out the fiery ones and they come in. That's too bad, isn't it?
My word. So the free kick to him. Half forward. Oh, Madden got a mile in there but couldn't take the mark. Carroll gives the hand pass to Paul Morwood. South Melbourne combining well in defence, and Bernie Evans taking it at centre field. He was South Melbourne's player in the best player in the first half. Jackson. Long kick by Francis Jackson up towards full forward. Roberts has 3 grabs at it but couldn't complete it. Outspins Boyce. Didn't have the ball. Clark on the bottom of the pack for Essendon, and umpire Neville Nash has decided to ball it up. A very, very fiery game here at the Makeover this afternoon. No beg pardons. Players going in with gay abandon. Knocked down by Justin Madden. Evans is there. Tries to get it out to a teammate who got ridden into the ground, and it's holding the ball, says the umpire, and the free kick against Cruz. And a 15-metre penalty will be going against him as Stoneham takes the free kick.
Still plenty of fireworks in this game as the ball comes out there, driven up by Fowler. Over the half forward off the back there is Carter. It could be a free kick against Simon Madden this time, and the free kick will go to Carroll. That's Dennis Carroll. Dennis Carroll with the ball at centre-half back. The other Carroll played in the reserves, even though he was named on the interchange bench. The ball falling short now. Umpire spotted something here. What's happened? Another kick, is it?
I think so, Lou, yeah.
Another kick to Carroll at the centre-half back position.
No, and to Carter.
Carter getting the kick, and the short pass coming out there now to Ackley. Ackley goes for a pass out wide. Not a bad one either, and a good mark taken here by Evans. His star play today over to Paul Morwood. And South Melbourne get it over their half-forward line, knocked on by Taylor. Coming out here now to Cruz. He shows a lot of pace, gets away from Stoneham, goes for a short pass, looking for Roberts. Picks it up, a beautiful hand pass to Moyer, fires for the goals, but it's off target. Going after it now is Wright and Clark, but it beats them both and it's out of bounds. About 40 metres around from that South Melbourne goal. And they're putting up a great show here today, South Melbourne. They're leading by 2 points. Coming at the back is Justin Madden. Teasdale gets it down to Wright. Another good player for South. He's clear, gets a hand pass out to Evans. Evans gets away on his left foot. A beautiful pass to Taylor. This fella can kick a goal too. He'd be about 40 metres out directly in front, and yet to score one today.
He scored 100 goals in Perth, didn't he?
That's right, the only rope ever to do that, apparently. Well, this goal here now will make it mighty difficult for the Bombers, because South Melbourne are fighting back every time that Essendon put something forward. Teasdale making a lead, but being ignored. Don't blame the young fella, because apparently he's a very accurate kick for goal. The distance may be a bit of trouble. Let's see what he can do with it. He's a left footer. Doesn't quite make the distance. The pack fly. Hits the deck. Stoneham going after it. Got it under control there and finally forces the ball out of bounds, but it's still deep in the heart of the South Melbourne attacking zone. So the pressure's still on this Bomber defence. It'll be Justin Madden and Teasdale to go for the knockout again. Knocked out by Teasdale. Comes back to Ron Andrews. Get out the way when he starts running through. Over to Bahajar. He's clear, the little fellow, and sends the ball back to the centre of the ground.
Into the glue pot. Knocked away by South Melbourne's Carroll. Very scrambly play in the centre. Eventually picked up by Nagel. Essendon fans roar when he gets near the ball. Superb pass by Nagel. Up towards Max Crow. Running into the goals. From 10 metres out. He's missed it and put it out of bounds. Oh, goodness me. Well, he certainly didn't kick that like a full-back because he started the game in that position. Max Crow was on his own. Here it is in replay. There was no one near him, as you can see.
I think he had a bit of trouble balancing the ball to get it into his hands properly, Pete, and he was...
So a boundary throw in. Crow and round. Over the top was Madden. Gets it down to Fowler. Wright is in there for South Melbourne. He'll get a free kick because he was tackled too high. Into the man on the mark. Play on, says the umpire. Bennett and Evans. Evans picks it up in front of Terry Danaher, who catches him well. Bahajar intercepting. Will go for a pass to Danaher. Left half forward. Long kick for goal. Into the 10-metre square. Looking for Crow. Or is it bouncing through?
Goal by Neil Danaher, Peter.
Certainly was. Must have been every bit of about 65 metres. And the scores now in Sevens Big League. South Melbourne 7-5, 47. Essendon back in the front 7-9, 51.
Once again, it's Teasdale against Justin Madden. He hasn't been off the ball all day. His brother's been down there on the forward line. The ball knocked out again. Back there towards the half forward, and Moyer goes down. Gets a wild hand pass. Not a very good one. Picked up by Bennett. Back there towards the forward, and he takes a mark at centre half back. He's played a pretty serviceable game too.
Agreed.
Well, both sides have had plenty of good players. Out it goes to Teasdale, and he's doing well too with a good mark. A hand pass coming over here to Taylor. Taylor's got plenty of time to get rid of the ball now. A hand pass. Out there to Evans. Back to Taylor. Well taken by Terry Danaher. And his brother backs up well as he picks up the ball and gets the ball across the centre field over the head of Watson. Knocked out by Danaher. Back there to Schultz. He's away and running as the ball goes out wide towards that half forward line. Coming in is Carroll. Juggles the ball beautifully. Umpire call play as we see Carter go after. Oh, they're going over left and right. That'll be a free kick. And no beg pardon. It's been about 6 spots on today. And the free kick to go to Schultz out there at half forward. We see Evans in a bit of trouble with the trainer. The ball falling short. Morwood comes across again. It's too long. Carter and Madden going after it. It's Carter getting away. Good play by the fullback for South Melbourne. Out it goes wide. Flying high as Reece Jones. Couldn't hold the mark. Coming in to meet it now is Schultz. Now Bahajar's got it. The little budgie gets clear. And look at him go. He balks 2 of them and he's down. A hand pass over to Nagel. A flying shot for goal, but Nagel's up target and it's through for 1 point. So the score. Essendon 7-10-52 to South Melbourne 7-5-47, and we're at the 20-minute, or just on the 20-minute mark of this, the third quarter.
5 points the difference. Driven out by Anthony Danaher. Mark taken by Teasdale.
Played pretty well, Pete, too.
Yes, he has done very well, Teasdale. A lot of good work around the ground. Cruz. Whoa. Is he off? No. He's got a nice eye, though. Max Cruz having a look at it through the glasses. Plenty of distance in his kick too, to centre half forward. Clark from behind, spoiled for Sheedy. Carey comes in, backing up well to Folds. Probably Essendon's best player. Stoneham in there for assistance, but it's past him and down to round. Justin Madden, Andrews, plenty of Essendon players. They're running downfield well. Fowler got one high, but it didn't stop him. Short pass, effective Schultz. Schultz will be 40 metres out. Hasn't scored a goal to date. And almost directly in front of goal. Essendon already leading by 5 points. Wait for the kick. Looks so hit the top of the post, the very top of the post. There's about 1/3 of a metre painted in red at the top of that post. That's what it hit. And so 1 point to make the difference, an even goal. 7-5-47 to 7-11-53. Ball back into play to the outer side of the ground. Behind was Bennett. Nagel scouting well, picks it up on the run and steadies for goal. Has a shot and has put it through. Nagel's second goal for Essendon. They lead by 2 goals, and on 7th Big league. It's Essendon 8-11, 59. South Melbourne 7-5, 47.
Kevin Sheedy'd be happy about that, sitting up there in the box. The Bombers coming to light again, but we've seen this happen a couple of times throughout the day. They led by 13 points about halfway through the second quarter, but we saw South Melbourne come back again. The centre bounce. About 22 minutes into this third quarter. Madden against Teesdale. No, it's Talbot, I should say, this time. Evans' kicker smothers. He tries to get out of the pack, and the umpire will ball it up there at centre field again. Well, this ground's in good condition considering, and it's only around about that centre area, and that's not that bad after what we've seen of a couple of other grounds this year.
Thoroughly agree.
Centre bounce again. Talbot, Teesdale got it out, intercepted by Evans. He tries to get through the pack, couldn't do so. Ackley's grabbed and drops the ball. Umpire said he had no chance of getting rid of that. They played worse than that, I'll tell you. Might have been a bit lucky, Ackley, that time. Centre bounce again. Actually, Talbot got it out. Going after it now is Reece Jones. He's got a bounce right, and won't do that at the moment. Now he's got it. He's clear. He's a clever player, this guy. The umpire fell over that time. Out it goes there to Boyce. He couldn't hold the mark, and that's Carey going through. Umpire said it could be a free kick. It'll go back here. It'll go to Carey out there on that centre wing position. A hand pass coming over now. And the ball driven up there by Fowler. He was knocked after he kicked the ball. Silly play on the part of Boyce. It'll be a free kick to throw down the field. FAD, as they say in South Australia. The ball shot right down there towards the forward pocket, and it's through, and for 1 point, I would say. So it's 13 points the difference. 7 goals, 5:47 South Melbourne to Western, 8 goals, 12:60. 23 minutes gone as the ball comes back into that half-back line. There's a good mark taken by Terry Danaher, and he's been a pretty quiet player today. That's his 4th kick he's going for now, and a chance to score his first goal. He'd be about 45 metres out, just about directly in front. Coming on Terry Danaher, the Bombers starting to break away at the moment in this third quarter. The kick is not a bad one, it's a goal.
Terry Danaher's first goal. Essendon now at 9 goals, 12-66, leading South Melbourne 7-5, 47.
Well, South Melbourne want a goal badly now before three-quarter time, Peter.
And what a couple of goals. This is, I think, the biggest margin we've had in the match right throughout the afternoon. 13 points. Or is it a bit more now? 19.
Ian Stewart looking down there very disgustedly.
Well, understandably, because Essendon have taken the game away from South Melbourne in the last, say, 10 or 12 minutes and starting to look very, very good indeed.
Well, that's mainly because Nagel came back into the play too, Peter.
Now at the 23.5-minute mark of the third quarter, Essendon looking pretty good at the moment on Sevens Big League as the umpire comes in to bounce the ball. Teesdale up high, but beaten for it by Essendon ruck rover Bennett. Danaher, two. The second one didn't do him much good. Jackson evening up with Fowler. And Terry Danaher has the free kick at centre field. The man that kicked the last goal, he won't score from there. Well, plenty of distance. It's a superb torpedo punt kick will just about land in the 10-metre square. Carter knocks it down. Crow's there. Bennett pounces on the ball, looks for a free kick. Umpire Neville Nash having none of that, and will ball it up in the forward pocket. Or actually, it's almost in front of the goal. A little bit out from the pocket. Round and Justin Madden, or Madden getting a mile in the air, trying to get it down to Bennett. Anthony Danaher couldn't do anything with his kick, which was smothered, and once again we'll see a ball up from the umpire as we are just about to enter the time-on period. Very crowded Essendon forward line. South Melbourne will be trying to keep them out. Not an effective tap-out. Ackley, wild hand pass, looking for Silvio Foschini, who traps it on the boundary line and gets away from Timmy Watson. That's not easy to do. The kick dropping short, and the mark taken by Anthony Danaher on the right half-back flank. Not a long kick by Danaher. Talbot flying, knocks it away from Goss, who's just come onto the field. Very scrambly play, and eventually picked up by Grant Fowler, who gets plenty of distance with his kick. Anthony Danaher underneath it again. Could be a free kick against Schultz if he didn't play the mark in the first place. And Danaher will take the kick on the right half-back flank once again. That's a fairly promising player. His two brothers, of course, Terry and Neil, wearing number 5 and 6 for Essendon. Or Teesdale could have got hipped out, or was it against him? It's against Teesdale, and it will be an Essendon free kick to be taken by Ronnie Andrews. Ball booted Long downfield. Terry Danaher flying high from the back but couldn't complete the mark. Schultz comes in, taps it cleverly in front of him. He's got opposition from Pashini. Close to the boundary line. Now there are plenty of South players there. Watson in between them all. Shoots for goal. Could be close. 1 point. Timmy Watson beat 3 South Melbourne players then, and that behind to the Bombers makes the difference 20 points. 47 to 67.
Watson's been a reasonably quiet player today. Got about 6 kicks for the match, and that's most unlike Watson. 10-metre penalty for the kick-off here. Fella crept over the mark and the ball shot back there towards round in front. He's got the grab in front of Torben that time. South Melbourne badly needing a goal before the change, and we're at the 26-minute mark now, or just on the 27-minute mark. Hand pass coming out there now as we see the ball taken around there by Pashini. A long kick over the half-forward. On the back as Roberts flies, couldn't hold the mark. In goes Wright, plays the ball in front of him, and it's along the boundary line, and still going after it. Now's a chance for Roberts to pick it up, and the ball is finally forced out of bounds. So it's out of bounds, and it'll be a throw in about 30 metres around from the South Melbourne goal, and they're 47 points to Essendon 67 points. 27 minutes gone of this third quarter, and it's been a ding-dong struggle all day. This is the biggest margin of any side today. There's only a free kick to Bahajar for one on the back against Goss. The hand pass coming back to Carey's and all the trouble about the place. Finally, it comes out to Reece Jones. Can't pick it up on the first hop. He goes down. They pounce on him. Gets a hand pass back now to Cruz. He runs back into trouble. He'll be holding the ball for sure. Yes, a free kick out there, and the free kick to go to Reed. Reed at half back with the kick. Reed's kick is out wide. Chance for Round or Jackson. It's the back as Carroll, and Carroll takes the bad hand pass to Danaher. He can't pick it up. He's lost it. Now he's clear. He's going to run into trouble. He gets a hand pass back to Jackson. Now they bumping the ball. This is giving Schultz a chance. Bad play on the part of South Melbourne. A short pass. In comes Terry Danaher, who can't pick it up now. He's got it, running around again on his left foot. Finally kicks it down there to Schultz. Schultz is on his own. He can run for a mile if he wishes. He goes for a pass to Crow, and he's found him right on the forward pocket position. Picked it up like a slips catch that time. He'd only be about 15 metres out on a pretty acute angle, but at least he's on the right side for a right footer. Well, South Melbourne have fallen apart at the moment. They've lost concentration completely. They were doing so well about halfway through this quarter when they actually led them by about
7 points.
7 points. And of course, they're down now. Kicks this goal, they'll be in a hell of a lot of trouble. The shot, 1 point. So it's still keeping them in the game. 9 goals, 14, 68. Essendon to South Melbourne, 7-5, 47.
21 points the difference on Sevens Big League, and South Melbourne just looking a little bit slow and maybe a little wearisome at the moment. Ackerley has the ball and will put it back into play. 29 minutes gone now in the quarter. Ackerley towards the bowling green wing. Looking for Round. Reece Jones with the flyer. Reed out with the ball. Back to Round. In turn to Reece Jones over the top. Handball is long. Picked up by Evans. He almost fell over. Fraser. Fraser playing on. South Melbourne badly need a goal. Cruz. Cruz looks like a good middleweight out there, and he's got an eye to match. I don't know whether he could score from there. He'd be about 50 to 55 metres. He'll wait on the kick. He's got the distance. The accuracy is a little bit astray, and it goes through for 1 point. To make the difference on the Sevens Big League scoreboard, 20 points exactly. 48 to 68, 7-6 to 9-14. As we await Shaw. Now playing at fullback for Essendon, a position that Crow held down in the first half, and he hasn't got a ball. Somebody has taken it.
Well, Pete, we've seen some Barneys here today, particularly you mentioned Cruz and Nagel. They really got stuck into it in that first quarter, around about the centre half forward area. It was the best round of, 3 rounds of boxing we've seen for a long time. I think Carter's had his number taken too for South Melbourne against Simon Madden. They had a box on too.
Surprisingly. Shaw will go again towards the bowling green side. That's a beautiful punt kick from Shaw. Look at that. Almost to the centre wing position. Magnificent kick. In comes Bennett. Bennett and Bahajar for Essendon. Eventually kicked out by Torbett. Torbett's kick is onto the centre wing position. It's all South Melbourne though. And picked up by Carroll. Carroll to right. Always a good player for South Melbourne. You never see this guy turn in a bad game. A very gutsy player. And he has a free kick, all the mark. And a 15-metre penalty now. He gets away from Torbett. Shaw and Roberts. Roberts! Got a play. over the top of Shaw. And I must admit, John Roberts certainly seems to like the run in from the back to take the grab. He's kicked 2 goals, and at the 31-minute mark of the final third term, it would be an invaluable goal for South Melbourne. And as you can see, he's on a fine angle. Going to favour the drop punt. Shoots at goal. 1 point, I think. No, it's a goal. Great kick from John Roberts, and it couldn't have come at a better time for South Melbourne. And on the 7th Big League scoreboard, South Melbourne 8 goals, 6, 54 points. Essendon 9, 14, 68.
The reason why you didn't know it was a goal, Pete, because I'd say there's 30-odd thousand here, and about 27 would be Essendon supporters, and that's loaded with them behind the goals there, so there was no cheering.
Certainly wasn't. There they are. Very big crowd here at the Lake Oval this afternoon. 32 minutes gone, third quarter.
Centre bounce again. Teasdale against Torban. Around it is. Picked up by Bennett. Shot back there towards that centre half forward position. The chance for Essendon. Now as a go here for Watson. He'll give a hand pass. A beauty over the short. Beautiful play on the part of Watson that side. My God, did they answer that goal pretty quickly within about 20 seconds to score. 10-14, 74 Essendon to South Melbourne, 8-6, 54. Still 20 points the difference.